Well, good morning. I have the honor on behalf of Amnesty International USA to welcome each one of you to this very special event. And I can feel compelled to start by saying that at a moment when the world has been so focused in its attention on those who believe in the power of violence and the power of killing, it is wonderful to be here today to celebrate the power of compassion and the power of nonviolent action for human rights. It was 50 years ago this month that Amnesty International was born. Our movement, which today has more than 3 million members and supporters in 150 countries, began with a very simple appeal for action that was addressed to people everywhere. And that appeal that was published in a newspaper in Britain started with these words: "Open your newspaper any day of the week, and you will find a report from somewhere in the world of someone being imprisoned, tortured, or executed because his opinion and religion are unacceptable to the government." And then it went on. The newspaper reader feels a sickening sense of impotence. Yet, if these feelings of disgust all over the world could be united into common action, something effective could be done. Well, because millions of people around the world, people exactly like you, people who in many cases were you, have responded to this appeal time and time again by somehow finding a way in their busy lives to indeed unite in common action, something effective has been done. Through the persistent mobilization of pressure by so-called ordinary people, over the decades, tens of thousands and tens of thousands of prisoners of conscience have been freed. Torture and execution chambers have been shut down. Human rights defenders have been protected. Tyrants have been removed and brought to justice. And policies that deny human beings the most basic necessities of life, like education, health care, and housing, have been challenged and changed. We know what common action can do. We, all of us, have taken part in demonstrating what common action can do. And yet, we also know that if today, if on this very day, we open a newspaper, or more likely, we go on the internet, we still will find reports from around the world of growing numbers of people who are under attack, imprisoned, tortured, or killed for standing up, speaking out, and fighting for freedom and dignity. It's because we are so painfully aware of how much remains to be done, how much right now urgently needs to be done, how many millions of people are still suffering as we gather here because of the denial of the rights that governments promised to all of us more than 60 years ago. It was for this reason that we decided that we did not want to mark this anniversary by celebrating Amnesty International or all the work that together we have been able to carry out over the past 50 years. Instead, we decided that we want to use this occasion to honor and to celebrate those whose lives and words and actions challenge, inspire, and move us to do even more, to never give up, to continue to do what we can to grow our nonviolent actions on behalf of the freedom and dignity that belong to each and every human being on our planet. And that is why we're gathered here this morning. Because in our world today, there is no more powerful voice for human rights, for peace, and for nonviolence than the unique voice of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. For over half a century, he has, with boundless energy, tirelessly and peacefully defended the rights of people everywhere, while leading the peaceful struggle to defend the rights of the Tibetan people to enjoy their own culture, their own language, and their own religion. It's often been said that His Holiness is a symbol of the power of truth and nonviolent action. But you know, he's much more than a symbol. He is an example, a living example from which all peoples can learn and which all of us should try to follow. He's an example of never being afraid to speak quietly but firmly truth to power. He's an example of how to respond to great honors like the Nobel Prize and the Congressional Gold Medal with humility and in remarkable humor. And he's an example of how to respond to even the most vicious attacks on himself and on his people with courage and calm and compassion. And most of all, he is an example of the value that's so central to the work of Amnesty International, of never giving up, of never losing faith, of perseverance. Year after year, he has spoken out on the human rights violations, the terrible and widespread human rights violations taking place in Tibet and elsewhere. And he has never stopped seeking a peaceful way to end them. As you can see, the symbol of Amnesty International is a candle shining a light through barbed wire on the worst ways that human beings treat other human beings. Well, the life of His Holiness is also a light, and it shines through these dark times for all of us. His light, like Amnesty, shines on the terrible and massive human rights violations taking place in Tibet and throughout our world, on the violence of imprisonment and torture and executions. And he also shines a light, as did other great champions of nonviolence and human rights, Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King, on the violence, perhaps the worst violence, that is known as inequality and poverty. The violence that is also rampant here in our own country, even if so often we and our leaders refuse to look at it. But his greatest gift to us all is that his light also shines on what gives hope, on the power that is within each one of us to create a better world, on the compassion, inner peace, and commitment we need to help each other to carry on this good fight for human rights, freedom, and dignity. I'd now like to ask three of our other special guests to come forward. At a time when people around our world are increasingly and at great risk rising up in the hope of a better world, at a time when his wisdom is needed more than ever, Amnesty International USA is honored to present His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, with the first ever Shine a Light on Human Rights Award. This beautiful award has been designed by Tenzin Mucho, a leading Tibetan designer and artist who has modeled the award after the title of the Dalai Lama, which means Ocean of Wisdom. The ripples that you see represents the scope and reach of His Holiness's unceasing compassion and the potential of every human being to make a difference in the world. The award will be presented by 3 students, Aurora Bermeo, Melody Guerrero, and Jocelyn Reyes, who with the support of their faculty advisor, Mr. Eddie Lopez, are already making a difference in the world. They are leaders in the Amnesty International group at Roosevelt High School in East Los Angeles, and they have already begun to devote their young lives to also shining a light, both globally and locally. They are yet another source of hope for us all. We present this award not only to honor His Holiness, but we present it as a challenge to ourselves, that as we begin another 50 years of activism, that we will do even more to create a different and a better world, a world of freedom and dignity for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Okay. 가. 재산 가. Come. 3 person, 1 scarf. Now I want to give you. That this I think. So, thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Padre. Make it share.
Yes.
Okay.
Why did you take that seat?
Okay, thank you.
Dear brothers and sisters, I feel great honor receiving this award. When I received the Nobel Peace Prize or when they announced to respond to a lot of media people sort of questions or question. At that time, I mentioned, I still just a simple Buddhist monk, no more, no less. However, that sort of award, I consider some kind of recognition about my small contribution. So this time also, to see your award, I feel your sort of recognition or approval about my little sort of contribution for well-being of human being. So I much appreciate. Thank you.
Shine a light. The award is named Shine a Light.
So now, actually, the individual person now getting older, now maybe shining now, maybe time now decline. But this kind of sort of appreciation expressed by, I think, a genuine, a human being who really dedicated for truth, for peace, for right. So that also is one sort of factor to keep this sort of this small light. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I recall, I think in 1996, my audience with late Queen Mother of England. Since my childhood, the late King George VI, and that sort of Queen Mother, quite familiar, their picture, their photo. So when I had opportunity, audience with her, and I asked her, since you observe almost whole 20th century, as I mentioned earlier, when I met, 96, her own age, also 96. So then I asked her, since you observe this century, so humanity, generally speaking, becoming better or worse? Then without hesitation, she immediately said, oh, better. The reason she mentioned, like human right, concept of human right, and right of self-determination. When she was young, nobody talked these things. Nowadays, these sort of ideas become universal. So she picked up sort of one of the, I think, positive development in her lifetime. So she mentioned human right. So this organization, particularly focusing on that sort of right. And then it seems sometimes NGO can do more than government. And particularly, I think the NGO focusing some particular sort of field. And also sometimes, the NGO express very truthful, frankly. Sometimes at government level, naturally, they have to take various sort of consideration about various factors. And particularly now, these days, the economy is the most important. So NGO generally sometimes do more, can do more. So now, human rights issue. I always telling when I had meeting with Amnesty International organization in Europe and some different places. Firstly, I express my appreciation. Then secondly, usually those individual or group of people, who have some sort of quality vision or quality of sort of strong belief of justice or conviction, and also vision. That means individual human being who have more strong creativity. Creativity. So when these people naturally express dissatisfaction about the existing sort of system or organization or anything, or like government, then these become target. So these people who have the greater potential to contribute the whole society. So protection of such individuals' right and their sort of safety is actually helping to further development of the community, of the or country, society, like that. So your work apparently, directly, is a concern individual right. But deeper level, your work also, you see, helping to genuine sort of the development of the concerned sort of area or concerned sort of country. So your work is really great. Then, particularly in the East, or firstly, former Soviet Union and some of the Eastern European countries. Then Asia, people from China, and Korea, North Korea, and then Vietnam. These areas. Of course, although I myself, as far as socio-economic theory is concerned, I'm Marxist. But still, I often used to make clear, I'm Marxist, but not a Leninist. I found a similar comrade in Italy, Italy communist. They are Marxist, not Leninist. Because you see, they very much ideology, Marxist ideology, socialism. However, they also is very much concerned about a basic human right. So, after sort of Lenin and some other, they don't care about individual right or right of community like that. So, in that sort of world, suffer a lot. So during this period, your organization is one of the source, one of the source of inspiration and hope, and particularly the Tibetan case. In 80s, I think, 70s and 80s, some occasion I express the human right violation in Soviet Union, say, looks more sort of from the West, look more serious than human rights problem in China. So a few occasions I mentioned, we are same human being. So there is no reason to make distinction, discrimination. In Asia, including Tibetan, we also same human being. We also have the same right. So in any way, the Amnesty International always, you see, to speak about the human right in this area and also is a Tibetan case. So on behalf of Tibetan people and also on behalf of these millions of Chinese people, I want to thank you. So Tibetan, as well as mainland China, intellectuals, writers, artists, as I mentioned before, who have that greater potential, build society, they become the target. So, on behalf of these people, I want to express thanks. Then from the, I think, religious viewpoint, the Jimbaliya, Chambe Jimba, and Minjibi Jimba Sachi, Jikshe Yorda. And the Minjibi Jimba Satilisha, Tianzo Lalenti.
So, in the Buddhist tradition, when we speak about forms of generosity, the virtue of generosity that we need to engage in, we make distinctions between different forms of generosity, in addition to giving material aid. And one of the important ones is referred to as giving fearlessness or freedom from fear.
So your work is like that. You see, give people protection, protect from fear, from their sort of rights towards their contribution way, like that. So, I think certainly, because of your sort of activities, reminds the world from time to time, I think certainly some effect on those people who don't care about human rights. So some effect definitely there. So please continue. You see, your active work should be continued. Of course, obstacle always there. Whenever some noble work start, some obstacle bound to happen. Then determination, very important. I think one example, I think constant effort eventually makes some impact. Now, for example, human rights in China, in the early period, when someone raised human rights, they simply reject. Then constantly 말해서
Repeated long,
무튼히
persistent.
Then the Chinese government, you see, compared to response. So, you see, the consistent way, they continuously making effort. Then gradually, effect will come. If you make one attempt, the result not positive, then give up. It's wrong. Must carry continuously. My own sort of experience, more than 50 years, you see, no matter how difficult it is, how sort of obstacles, how many obstacles, we carry continuously because our work is noble and just. So, eventually, see, the power of force is temporary. Power of truth always remains. So therefore, please you carry your work, because your work, because there are moral principles there. So that's your strength. So doesn't matter what sort of failure, initial level, must do continuously. Thank you. Perhaps some questions.
Yeah, we're going to take questions.
Or some question answer. Oh. Okay. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you. You got the question. My name is Hussam Elouche, and I'm the Executive Director of the Council on American Islamic Relations in Los Angeles. I'm also a proud, long-time member of Amnesty International, and I hope no one will leave today without becoming a member and a supporter of this great organization. We are very honored that Your Holiness have graced Southern California residents with your gracious visit here to the Southern California. And on behalf of the American Muslim community, I appreciate the opportunity to share with you some of the experiences and struggles that American Muslims have been facing over the past decades. My question to you, Your Honor, Your Holiness, American Muslims have been a part of America since its founding, either as slaves brought to this country by force, or as immigrants, or as native-born Americans. But recently, there has been a significant increase in anti-Muslim rhetoric from politicians and pundits, resulting in hostility and division between this minority, the American Muslims, and other Americans. So the question is, what is your advice, Your Holiness, to all Americans in challenging anti-Muslim sentiment and creating a more inclusive society? Thank you.
유아래서 흡이자. 통주 두자르시다. 네. Since September 11th tragedy, then you see, there are sort of, then is some people consider Islam as a whole something militant or negative. So just, I think, after 1 year, that tragedy, I think some kind of, I think the prayer meeting in Washington Cathedral, the large number of people there. So there I expressed some of these individuals who carry this sort of immense of destruction. Their background, Muslim community. But due to that, if you generalize whole Islam is something negative, it's totally wrong, unfair. Few mischievous individuals, not only among the Muslim community, but Christian community also there, Jews community also there, some mischievous people, and among the Hindus also there, among the Buddhists also there, even among Tibetan Buddhists also some mischievous people there. So the few individual mischievous people's behavior, due to that, generalized whole sort of tradition is totally wrong. So sometimes some kind of impression, the clash between Western civilization and Muslim sort of the tradition. I think that's, wrong impression. As a Islam sort of religion, I have quite some sort of the friend. And they told me, genuine follower of Islam, Quran, should not create bloodshed. If you take bloodshed, then essentially that person no longer genuine practitioner of Islam. Then also, they say the meaning of jihad, not fighting. real jihad means fighting or struggle within your own sort of evil spirit here. That's every religions, and including Buddhism, even the sort of similar term,
For example, in Buddhism, we have terminology of engaging in combat with one's own internal negative tendencies.
that we call nyumungbeta.
So, and in fact, we refer to these afflictions as enemy, the inner enemy.
So the real meaning of jihad, I understood as a result of meeting some of the Muslim ordinary practitioner and also some scholar. The real meaning of the jihad like that. So I think before criticize other, you should know thoroughly about that. Then if there is real sufficient sort of reasons, then criticize. Without knowing the full picture, then just to say, oh, due to a few incidents here and there, you see, who carry some sort of mischievous sort of work and with beard. You don't say, oh, Muslim is bad, Islam is bad. Don't say that. So that's my view. So since then, of course, I'm Buddhist. Historically, in India, Buddhism also suffer in the hands of Muslim. But past is past. We must look forward. So nowadays, now for example, in Bodh Gaya, the most Buddhist sacred place, there are many Muslims there. So these Muslims, I think there are forefathers there, foreparents there, foreparents.
Ancestors, the
Ancestors. I think they came to Bodh Gaya to destroy Bodh Gaya. But nowadays, these Muslims are best friend for myself. Also, you see, they every occasion when I was there, they invited me, and I visit their sort of small school. I also give some donation, and whenever I visit there, they really served very delicious tea. That I remember. So therefore, and then also you see in Ladakh area, previously, you see they when Buddhists sort of passing through the Muslim sort of town, and even you see they never sort of eat from Muslim hand, and similarly Muslim not sort of eating from Buddhist hand. When I passing through this area, they invited me. So I accepted, and I really enjoyed their meal. Wonderful. So same human being, same meal. Why? You see, we are making distinction. I'm Buddhist, they are Muslim. It's silly. That kind of thinking is outdated. We must change these things. And in India also, you see, caste system. Sometimes, you see, even well used by upper class, the lower class cannot drink from that water. Such things maybe could say part of their cultural heritage, but outdated, backward, must change. Like that.
Good morning. My name is Steve Chaudhary. I am a 9th grader in Bell High School, and I hope to start an amnesty group in Bell High School. I am an active member of the Bell High School Gay Straight Alliance. I joined the school club because I believe it is essential to stand up for students who may be too afraid to stand up for themselves. It seems that every day we read or hear about school-aged children being bullied, especially LGBTQ youth. Your Holiness, what can we do as youth to ensure that our young people, especially those picked on, can that they appear different, can feel safe and secure?
That question quite complicated, quite difficult. Of course, everybody sort of knows, or everybody sort of knows, right? Bully other is wrong. Meantime, is he carrying bully? What to do? So I think, according to law, or even sort of local police, I think the certain kind of, sort of bully on the basis of different color or different sort of appearances. That also, I mean, there is no proper reason. Simply, I think all these problems, I feel, we are lacking. There's some kind of sort of education about moral ethics, respect other, develop sense of concern of others' well-being. And on the basis of we are human level, we are oneness, same. I think that is important. So we are lacking that. So therefore, the little differences than yourself, and then feel little distance. Then, when opportunity come, you are stronger, the other one weaker, then bully, exploitation, like that. So this, I think, in order to change this, in order to stop this, I think we should focus some other fundamental level in the education system. Not only give you information about the brain development, but education also must pay more attention how to build nice person. So that's, I think, ultimate answer come from that. Otherwise, the rule is there, the Constitution gives you equal right, but the problem is there. And I think America, comparatively, I think still better. But some countries, the Constitution gives you equal right, and law protect that. But the people who involve the law itself sometimes corrupted. And what to do? Because Bejare,
in Tibetan, we have a Tibetan saying where system which is supposed to solve a problem turns into a problem itself. So we say that the gods have turned into demons and medicine turns into poison.
So all these related with moral ethics, with sort of inner sort of strength, moral ethics, principle, then all, I think, human sort of professions then become constructive. Someone lacking that principle. And this intelligence, sometimes quite smart, how to manipulate. So I think we must emphasize firstly, these problems, how can develop further investigation, that ultimately the motivation or inner quality. So that's my view, but of course long-term sort of effort or long-term sort of method. For temporary, I don't know. I think if someone is really the bully on you on the basis of some discrimination, then you fight back.
It's an honor, Your Holiness. My name is Kathy Ford, and for 23 years I've been a coordinator and an Amnesty activist in a chapter down in North San Diego County, a couple hours from here. And I'd like to encourage everyone here who is not yet a member of Amnesty to please stop by the membership table outside and become a member. For the past 23 years, we've hosted and organized a human rights event. My question for you, Your Holiness, is what advice would you give to long-time activists in helping to sustain their energy and determination in working towards building a world where everyone enjoys universal human rights?
Yes. Since you see a new development, I think now 60 years passed. That was since 1949 and 50. And the Central Tibet, 51. So since the full control entire Tibet by Chinese communists, 1959. Now 50 years passed, more than 50 years passed. The situation inside Tibet, of course there are a lot of sort of constructions, including construction of a railway link. Itself positive. A lot of school, a lot of hospital. In principle, good, but they're not properly utilized. And anyway, beside that, as late Panchen Lama used to express publicly, there are construction progress, but the amount of suffering cannot match by this development. I think 80, 89 Marwe, Panchen Shayat, 89. So he publicly mentioned that. So in basically the same situation. However, now 60, 50 years passed. Tibetan spirit, generation change, but Tibetan spirit never change. Still remain very, very firm. Some cases even stronger. I met some young Tibetan who some escape, some opportunity to study in foreign country. I met they came to see me secretly. I also met them. Everyone really expressing such a wonderful, sort of strong determination, entrepreneur spirit. This is, I think, a basic thing. Then, other hand, People's Republic of China as a whole, I always telling 4 eras. Chairman Mao's era, then Deng Xiaoping era, then Jiang Zemin era, then Wu Jintao era, 4 era. Mao Zedong era, emphasis pure ideology. And in order to keep pure ideology, any cost. Any cost. Then Deng Xiaoping era, ideology no longer much important. He even mentioned, so long mice can catch a white cat or black cat, doesn't matter. So that means capitalism or socialism doesn't matter. So long make money. So long make more richer. So big change. So now today, one I think wonderful thing is Chinese Communist Party without communist ideology. So American style of capitalist communist. Big change, isn't it? Big change. That also, then you see, they creates a new reality. That means middle class population increase, then billionaire also you see now there. So these not only rich family, but also quite effective in the society. So Jiang Zemin era, he invented some kind of idea. The Communist Party no longer party for working class people, but party should represent all sort of different sort of new classes. So idea of 3 represents that develop. Then also, you see, the economic development also creates, you see, gap, rich and poor. And also some of the previous sort of certain right take for granted way. Privileges. Also you see some sort of change. Therefore, need special effort for harmonious sort of society. So Wu Jintao emphasis building harmonious society. So this shows same Communist Party, same system, things are changing. And the party have the ability to act according to new reality. Then another sort of factor, in 50s, 60s, and even 70, 80, I think 70, the immense suffering, immense sort of killing, torture, inside Tibet and also in mainland China. News difficult reach outside. Now today, because of this new sort of information, new media, immediately it's reach out. So this also, you see, the advantage for us. The government more worry, people more advantage. So therefore, now the fifth generation leadership now coming from, I think, after next year. I think the now new reality there. So I think the government policy, you see, have to change. Will change. This is my feeling, my view. I always mentioned the China overnight change into democracy. That's I have some reservation because the central authority collapse or change, there could be some chaotic situation develop. That's nobody's interest. So gradual change. Now already some gradual change already there. Now I always see, make clear the building harmony, promote harmony among the society is wonderful, very good. We fully support. But the method, but is a method should be a realistic way, putting more soldier, more security personnel, more camera. I think opposite effect. Instead of building harmony, but more, I think, mistrust. Logically, the genuine harmony based on trust, friendship. So, more weapon, more security personnel, more camera brings more fear, more distrust. That sort of basis of harmony destroying. So that's total wrong method. So now here, I have the view. Now, without changing the party the party, but there should. Now, I think we should emphasize. As I mentioned earlier, the Chinese people have the right to know the reality and also have the ability to judge the right or wrong. Therefore, censorship should not be there. And give free information, free press. That I think is very important. Then eventually, independent judiciary. Free press, without censorship, then independent judiciary, then, and government also, then can carry policy transparently. That actually immense help to develop respect, trust from outside world, particularly neighboring state, like Japan, like India. The China, people from the China, most populated nation, ancient nation, they really deserve respect, trust from rest of the world. And also that can be, because of that, very important sort of factor in order to carry more constructive role on this planet. Closed society, no transparency, creates more suspicion. It is the greatest obstacle to make some constructive contribution for a better world, like ecology. The Copenhagen summit failed. I think American side, really make effort. But then, it's finally not sort of get satisfactory sort of result. So in any way, so my main sort of reason, look this reality. There is a lot of reasons feel optimism. So please, you see, keep your sort of enthusiasm. We are carrying, you are helping some just cause and truthful. So, say, itself certain sort of strength or certain power, and also the other side also changing. Therefore, there is real hope. I think next few years, maybe 5 years or 10 years, even myself now age, because I over 76, more white sort of hair, and also white because
Eyebrows.
but still I feel I will see the reunion and more freedom, not only in Tibet, but also in China proper. So keep your enthusiasm. That's very important. Then another thing, when we carry certain work, if you feel, goal of that work materialize within your own lifetime, then you carry. If not, then don't bother. That's wrong. If any work, something worthwhile and sort of positive result, doesn't matter whether materialize one's own lifetime or not. We must start. That's the way, isn't it? If we just, you see, anything within lifetime materialize, then carry. If not, then not bother. That's actually, I think, foolish, self-centered attitude. Wrong. Thank you. That's how. Finish now. Thank you. Scarf. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay. Thank you.
I thought it was Anne. Where is Anne? She left. Anne
Thank you.
Anne left.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Well,